Some legacies are written in ink, others are carved in wood. This is a story about love, loss, and what it takes to turn grief into grit. Oh, nice show space.
Welcome to Roger&Sons.
Wow, fantastic. Thanks for having me this morning.
No
This is a great showroom, and I see you've got a little bit of a work area back there as well.
Yeah, so we moved here about 7 years ago. So we wanted to bring carpentry nearer to the masses. So we opened this space, we have a small workshop doing classes, a small showroom over here, just showing some of the products that we do.
I was looking at these abacuses here.
Yeah, so these abacus were actually for my dad. We wanted to have a little bit of him over in the shop. It's a symbol of wealth and a symbol of trying to attract money coming in, and so that's what he believed in.
I look forward to hearing more about your dad. I understand you guys have a special story. Tell me what it was like with the tragedy of your dad's passing and you and your brother taking over the business.
Yeah, so my dad was diagnosed with cancer in February 2014. He passed on in August 2014, so that's about 6 months in between, so it's quite fast. So when he was diagnosed with cancer, me and my brothers, we decided to want to come and take over the company so that he can focus on fighting cancer. We want to carry on his legacy, and that's why we renamed the company to Roger&Sons. So we wanted him to know that even after he's gone, the hard work he has placed in the company will not go to waste, and we'll try our best to carry that on.
I can imagine it would have been really difficult for your mom.
I think it was tough on her because
Yes.
the company was not in a good state. She has to raise 3 kids. At the start, it was really, really chaotic because I just graduated from university. I was 26.
Okay, so you guys
26.
were young, and you're the oldest. You're the
I'm the
oldest
oldest.
son, yes?
So my second brother was just getting ready going to the army, and my youngest brother was still in polytechnic.
How was it for you as the oldest son?
I think it's always tougher, as in the sense where there's a lot of responsibility being the older son. I had to step up and to be able to step into my father's shoes. But I was very lucky because my brothers, they were also going through a tough time, but they all stepped up and helped me. I think growing up, my mom and my dad has always brought us up, like the three of us, to be able to deal with adversities. Putting money aside, because money is not as important as being close as a family, being able to support each other. I think that has brought us through countless adversities and it brought us to where we are today.
Well, this is where love and faith really build resilience in families, and it's a wonderful story. And I'm sure your dad's looking from above, extremely proud of you and your brothers and what you've been able to achieve and carry on what he started with his business. How are your brothers involved in the business?
I run mainly the business development. My second brother does more the marketing, the branding, and then my youngest brother, he's the hands-on guy. We took about 1 to 2 years for all of us in the company to be able to understand each other. But I think the difficulties forced us to be able to just have the same dream and have the same goal.
You're a long way from legacy planning based on your age, but what can you learn from being a second-generation owner, and what did you learn from your dad that others can learn from as small business owners?
I think communication is key in everything that we do. There's no bad ideas and there's no bad questions. It's important to be able to hear each other out. The second thing is trust, especially for second generation and first generation, because sometimes you have differing opinions or differing things that you want to do. But regardless, it's always to do better for the family, to do better for each other. And if the opinions are differing, then we go back to open communication. I think with that, it builds a very, very good relationship, and I think that's important in bringing the company forward.
With your dad's passing, how that impacted you now as a young father, and what did you learn from your dad?
I have a very young family. My son is about 2 years old, and my daughter is 3 months. Growing up, my dad has always been very supportive emotionally, financially, and that has always been the foundation and the core of what I want to be when it comes to my family. My dad didn't really have a lot of insurance, so for me right now it's making sure that I do whatever I can, regardless whether it's getting the right insurance for them or whether or not it's just making the right investments for them, so that, touch wood, right, if anything happens, that I don't have to worry about them. And it's not so much about me, but also the burden that it has on my wife. The moment our kids were born, we decided to invest, spend a little bit of money to make sure that our kids are covered, covered with critical illness, having a little bit of a savings plan. That's important, so they have real funds when they decide to go to university.
And it's great that you and your wife understand the value of planning and protecting yourselves, your income and your future income, and making sure your children are taken care of.
Yep.
Yeah, I want you to talk to me a little bit more about the sustainability angle, because
Yes.
I think this is so interesting in Singapore, where you're actually using wood that is from trees that have been taken down in Singapore.
So I think Singapore is like a very big garden where you constantly need to prune, cut, grow, and that results in a lot of these trees that are being cut down. There's a lot of waste. So we wanted to not import wood anymore and see what we can do with what we have in Singapore. The traction at the start was a bit slow, but now whatever that we're doing, 70-80% of the things that we do are all made from local
Wood, 70-80%.
Yeah, 70-80%. So there's a growing demand. It takes a lot of time and effort to turn these logs into planks, and spending time to sand, to fabricate. But I think it brings a lot more meaning to the things that we do. The one that really pushes all this is my younger brother, Ryan.
Can we have a look at the workshop?
Yeah,
Let's
come.
have a look.
Let's go into the workshop. I'll introduce you to my brother.
Great.
Hi, Rick. This is my brother, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I think it's pretty cool that you have this great workshop here. What am I going to do here?
Today we'll be making a very simple chopstick. I'll just guide you along the way.
Okay.
It will be relatively easy, so I don't think you will suffer that much.
Okay, good.
You want to push down and forward, so like a 45 degree.
Okay. All right, let's see how I do in the first time.
All right.
Come through, not bad.
And so you can see that on the inside there will be wood coming out.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
So
okay.
you're doing it right.
There we go. Well, I like the whole idea behind this. People don't get enough opportunity to work with their hands, right?
Yeah.
So I think things like this and the classes that you hold are fantastic for young people to learn. Get off the computer, get off the internet,
Yeah.
get off of social media. Not that that's not important in today's day and age, but this is kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
When you guys were growing up, how much time did you spend with your dad in his, I guess, factory and in his workshop?
That always try to keep us relatively involved in the company, be part of his life, be part of his work.
But we all started the same way. Going there, we all started cleaning the office first.
Cleaning the office.
Yeah, so we
Good old dad,
started
right?
sweeping the floor, things like that. And as we became more comfortable, we created our own pieces. And one of the pieces that I can remember making is actually a beer pong table.
Beer pong table.
Yeah, we made a beer pong table. That was actually one of the first few projects that my brothers and I came together and made.
Growing up, my grandfather had a wood workshop in his backyard, and I have very fond memories of making stuff with my grandfather. I mean, he had a lot of equipment and tools, so this brings back a lot of memories. Ryan, what's it like working with your two older brothers?
I always like to think that it's a never-ending group project.
Okay.
We have always been very family-oriented. It's good to know that the person that's leading the charge with me is my brother.
It sounds like your parents have really instilled some good values in the three of you, right?
Thank you.
It's not easy, from what I can understand. I'm very close to my brother. He's 3 years younger, but I'm not sure we would be good business partners. And I think he would agree with it. Legacy isn't just about financial planning and insurance solutions, but more importantly, it's about the legacy of the perpetuity of carrying forth a business. A very unfortunate circumstance that happened with Morgan and his two brothers and the untimely passing of their father, and the resilience that they had in themselves and their values that they achieved from their parents were able to carry on their father's business and make it into the business that they have today. These sons have not only built a legacy, but they have worked in creating a business that I'm sure will continue for future generations.